Money and finances are something that affect all of us on a daily basis. And yet, it's something that I find that often we don't talk enough about. It's not something that most of us are taught growing up, and so we end up being launched into our adult lives with no real idea of what to do or not to do when it comes to our finances. And in that situation, it's really easy to make mistakes. But by becoming more aware and by learning, we can really take control of our finances early and in the process prevent so much stress and financial headaches in the future. So that's really what I want to do today. We're going to explore some common money mistakes and how to avoid them so we can make better financial decisions going forward. And today's video is an extra special one because it's actually a collaboration with Ebook. And Gabe has an awesome channel where he makes content about financial minimalism and intentional living. And in his videos, he really shares his personal journey and what he's learned in his personal and financial life. And of course, like every good minimalist except myself, he's a huge coffee snob. So I'm excited in this video to be talking about 7 money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. But after you finish watching this video, be sure to check out Gabe's video where he walks through 7 other financial mistakes to avoid. And he has a lot of wisdom to share, so you don't want to miss it. But now let's dive into our first money mistake to avoid, and that's careless spending. It is all too easy for us to swipe our card or now to just use tap to pay for something without even thinking about it. In fact, one reason credit card companies have switched to tap to pay is because we actually feel money leaving us less. It causes less pain for us to have money going out of our bank accounts. And because we don't feel those purchases, it becomes really easy for us to overspend or simply to buy things without thinking. And for most of us, financially speaking, this is the number one thing that we need to work on. So it's a great idea to get into the practice of, before you buy anything, even if it's as small as a pack of gum, pause, wait for 30 seconds, and just ask yourself, do I need this? More often than not, the answer is going to be no, I don't really need this, and you can put that item back and save money in the process. While it might not be that significant if you're simply doing it with a pack of gum, if you begin applying this idea of pausing and waiting to all the purchases that you make, whether it's a shirt, a subscription service you don't need, a longboard, whatever it is, if you begin really asking yourself, being honest, and avoiding careless spending, you really can save thousands of dollars a year just by being more aware of the purchases that you're making that maybe you would have done mindlessly in the past. So I'll be the first to admit that is a difficult habit to really create, but once you have it, the effect that it can have on your finances is massive. Another big mistake that it's important to avoid is not discussing finances with your significant other. Whether you're married, dating, or somewhere in between, talk about money with your partner. And I get it. It's scary and it feels vulnerable, but it's crucial to a healthy relationship. In the United States, one of the primary causes for divorce is actually finances and people not being on the same page about them. And so I know it's hard and it feels really private and sometimes even embarrassing. But at the same time, if you want to set up your relationship for future success and be on the same page when it comes to your finances, having those difficult conversations about money is imperative. So budget together, make plans together, dream together, set goals together, and then mutually work to where you want to get to be with your finances. Number 3 is putting off saving for retirement. And I see way too many young people waiting to save for retirement until they're older. When it comes to saving for retirement, time makes such an incredible difference, and never are you going to have more of it than in your 20s. Even if it doesn't feel like you're able to put tons of money towards retirement right now, the benefit of compound interest means that the dollars that you put aside now for retirement are going to have a greater impact than the ones that you're putting away in your 40s and 50s. So the earlier you begin saving for retirement, the better set you'll be in the long run. And I know the idea of saving for retirement can feel a bit overwhelming with questions like, where do I start? How do I begin? All of that. But my best advice is just to connect with a financial advisor who can really help you make some of the important decisions when it comes to your retirement savings. And then mistake number 4 is carrying credit card debt. And let's get something straight here. Debt limits our options and weighs us down. When we owe money, it restricts our freedom and limits our options. And I don't know about you, but I always like being able to create as many options and as much freedom for myself as possible. So really work to get out of any credit card debt that you may have, and then once you've reached that goal, take steps to keep it that way. Start building the habit of paying off your credit card in full each month. Or if you often feel tempted to abuse your credit card, maybe try closing that account altogether. The points or the miles that you might lose out on by closing that account aren't worth you going into debt over. Another big mistake that I see a lot of 20-somethings make is not saving an emergency fund. And maybe you're thinking right now, how can I close my extra credit card accounts? What if I need them? And that's really where an emergency fund comes into play. Because the truth is, life happens. Your car will break down, you'll need medical care, your house will flood, something will happen. And it's best to be prepared for it. So build an emergency fund. Try to set aside 3 to 6 months worth of expenses to have on hand for a rainy day. And one quick clarification on this one, 6 months worth of expenses is not the same as 6 months worth of income. For this, you want to focus on what you have going out in a month, not how much you have coming in. So if you make $3,000 a month, but only spend $2,000 of it on food, shelter, clothing, all of the basic necessities, then that's what you want to calculate when you're trying to figure out how much you want to save. So if your expenses for 1 month are $2,000, then you want to save about $12,000 so you can have 6 months worth of savings. And of course, those numbers are completely arbitrary, but do the math for yourself and figure out what that number is that you want to save for an emergency fund. And our 6th common mistake is living beyond your means and label chasing. And I think this is an especially important one in our 20s because it can be so tempting to spend more than we earn or simply more than we know that we should in the desire to fit in with our peers. Whether we try to justify it as keeping up appearances or it's what everyone else is doing, at the end of the day, if you're spending more money than you should be, that's not money well spent. And this can look like something as simple as going out to eat when you've already spent your whole restaurant budget for the month, or as extreme as going out and buying a new Tesla that you can't afford. There's a huge spectrum when it comes to this, but at the end of the day, no matter how big or how small your overspending is, if you're living beyond your means, you're eventually going to cause yourself to go into debt. And so it's so important that we don't let fears about what other people will think if we buy or don't buy a particular item dictate our financial future. And then number 7 is not setting goals. Trying to save and to make financial decisions without goals is like trying to get somewhere without a map. You'll end up wandering around aimlessly and end up wasting a lot of time in the process. But by setting goals and giving yourself a specific direction and place to work to, it really does make it so you're able to accomplish more in less time. This is really something that played out practically for Christopher and I. We always knew that we wanted to buy a house, and for about 3 years, we're just kind of saving in the background for a down payment, and during that time saved $30,000, which definitely isn't a number to scoff at, but there wasn't really any direct planning going into it. But a bit over a year ago, Christopher and I really sat down and figured out exactly how much we wanted to save for our down payment, and in 1 year of really intense saving, we were able to double the amount that we had saved. So we saved an additional $30,000 and more. Now, obviously, a lot of factors went into our increased ability to save beyond just setting that goal. But I can tell you with certainty that the fact that we'd set a specific goal and really were working towards it increased our intensity, desire, and effort to save. And so that goal really propelled our savings, and a year later, we are in a beautiful home that we were able to put down a significant down payment towards. So goal setting won't always look as extreme as that, but by really tangibly writing down where you want to go and how you want to get there, it can help guide you as you save. So those are some important money mistakes to avoid in your 20s, but like I mentioned before, this is really just half of it. Be sure to check out Gabe's video for 7 more crucial money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. And when you go, don't forget to subscribe to his channel. He's made some incredible videos like his 17 stages of minimalism video, and I know you're going to love it. And if you're visiting from Gabe's channel or you just stumbled across this video, then hi, my name is Ashlynne and I make videos twice a week on this channel about simple and intentional living. And if that sounds interesting to you, then I'd love to have you join this little community on here. So be sure to hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss a single video. But I hope you enjoyed today's video and that it really inspires you to make thoughtful decisions when it comes to your finances. Money really isn't as scary as we make it out to be in our heads, and by making thoughtful and intentional decisions, we really can set ourselves up for success in the future. So that's everything for today's video, but don't forget that if you're looking for additional daily inspiration and updates, you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm at ashlynne.eaton on there, and I'd love to have you join me. But like I said, that's everything for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.